Hey guys, what's up? It's Willy B here. I'm going to be doing a fairly long showcase of particle hats. I'm going to be showing you guys all the cool features, all the cool particles, everything you can do with it. Not everything, because that would take hours. But this video is probably going to be fairly long, so grab some popcorn and then hurry back. Pause first and then come back. But anyways, right now we're just looking at the Fire God. And these are all made by myself. I've had some ideas from players and stuff as well, but these are all 100% customized to my liking. You can set up as many particle effects as you want, so you can have thousands if you want to take the time out to do that. It's taken me a long time to have the 179 that I do, but I am fairly happy with the fact they all exist. And there's a new way of creating them now, so you can do them a lot easier. But anyways, you just type /H to open up your menu, and you can flip through all the pages. I've got 7 pages of particle effects, and there's I think 8 or 9 different types of like really cool looking ones, and you also have trails and halos. So you can have those positioned on the head, feet, or the waist. So you can get unlimited amounts of awesomeness out of this. You can also do the RGB colors for redstone and one of the spell effects, I think, and also notes. So you'll see here, where is it? This one here is the musical vortex. You have rainbow notes, but you could also set that up to be just one color, which is also really handy for making if you want to create a lot of effects that are similar but slightly different. Like if you wanted to have a color for every rank you had on your server, for example, you could just set it up so it took the color of that rank, and you give the permission for this particle effect to that rank so that they can use their cool looking exclusive awesome effect. And that's a pretty cool feature, I think. That you can just do all kinds of things like that. Like everything that's possible with particles when creating a plugin is possible through this plugin. And I've been playing around with this for a few months, but I've finally finished what I want to have done, which is 179 particles. You can come on my server, mc.feathernet.ca. All of them are available to everyone right now. They will eventually be divvied up to be like exclusive particles for ranks or available in crates, and you can also set them up to be purchased through this plugin, which I haven't really touched at all yet, but it's something that I plan on doing in the future. But let's just start playing around with some of these. And I have dynamic flames. This is the helix effect, so it's just a spiral around you. So I have the dynamic flames, which shows the particles being animated, and then I have just flames normally, and it's all of the particles where they would be, but constantly there. So you can have that 2 different ways, and it's the same for all of the new effects. So yeah, you have vortex as well, and you can have it animate like this, or you can have it full. So it's always all of those effects, or all of those particles are always where they have been, I guess. So like where they're disappearing behind, they would always be there. So it's quite customizable with that as well. You can basically do endless amounts of things. And we have arches, crystals, spheres, and atoms. And I think there's a few others that I haven't played around with yet. And I'm sure the developer's planning on making more as well. I had asked them to fix the cape effect because it was fairly blocky, didn't look very nice. And they did it within a week or something like that. So it was very quick, and they've been adding a lot more, and they've been working on this a lot. So they seem pretty dedicated to this plugin, and it is free, which is awesome. So I would consider getting this if you have the time. That is, like, it does take a long time to set up the way you want. But anyways, let's just look at some of the arch effects. So we have reaching rainbow, which is that animation kind of thing where it shows it partially done. And then we also have just a full rainbow. And that's going to be the rainbow, but all the time. And then we have, well, we also have wings. I'll show you the wings really quick. So it's just that style, but you can use any particle you want. It's the same with capes. I'll show you like the enchanting cape. So that's what that looks like. I think that's a count of 3 or something. So it's a little bit thicker, looks a little bit nicer, I think. But it does cause a little bit more lag for any of your players who have really bad computers. I'm rocking 18, 26 FPS. Of course, I'm recording, so that's not helping much. But it is pretty hard on players that don't have a good computer for playing Minecraft, which is kind of funny considering it started out as a block game. Now it's much more. But you can get them to use Optifine, and you can get them to disable particles or have decreased amounts of particles. So it'll look a little silly if you're only using a count of 1, but it'll give them less lag. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's the way of dealing with that, I guess. And this is the crystal one. It's not my favorite. It does look a little weird, and I think it's a little rapid, but it also does kind of have a cool effect. It's the happy sim. So when your sim in like the Sims whatever game is like happy and taken care of, they have the green crystal. If they're like upset or whatever, they have the yellow one. And if they're like about to die, they have the red one. And the cool thing about this, it's not just above my head. It's like always wherever I'm looking. So if I'm looking around or whatever, it's like it's straight up. Like if there was a stick through my head pointing up, it would be I don't know, it follows my head. It's pretty cool, but that's not my favorite. I do find it a little rapid for placing the particles, but it is a cool looking effect. And then we have the sphere effects, which are probably one of my favorites. I also really like the vortex ones, but I sent a tweet earlier with this, and I call it the dragon egg. It uses dragon's breath as the particle, and it's just a sphere, again with the animation thing. So it's going around, it's not showing all of them at once, which is another way you can kind of reduce lag. And this is one of my favorites, the ender pearl. It uses the magical crit particle effect, and it's the full sphere. So it's showing everything at once, so it's a ball, a sphere. So it just kind of looks like an ender pearl. So I named it ender pearl. And then we also have atoms, which I never even thought about when I was like suggesting a couple different features to them. I never even imagined atoms. I don't know why, because it's a really cool looking effect, but it's not something I had imagined. I'm losing my voice a bit here, but we have the spark atom, which uses the fireworks. That's the end rod effect. Okay, I was wrong about that. I just set this up earlier, but this is the full atom. And so that looks pretty awesome. And we also have that's also the full atom. One sec. But it also has the animation effect, so you can have it set up so it's not showing all of them at once. And I think it looks really awesome how it does that. Just another view here. You can see it bouncing back and forth. So it looks really cool. One thing to take note of though, all of these effects do show up in first person, obviously. So some of these are unrealistic to have if you don't want them being obstructive, like Ender Pearl, for example. Like that would be annoying. So it's not something that you should force on players, and you should obviously have some that aren't really annoying. But yeah, those are all of the effects. So another thing I'm going to show you guys is edit page 7, I guess. And you can actually edit each one of these pages. You can create them in game. You can edit them in game. One thing you can't do in game yet, you can't name any of these. You have to set up the name in your config, which is super easy to do. So that's like it sets up like a space for it and everything. So it's quick and easy. So we're just gonna create one down here, and we'll make it We'll use the angry villager. I haven't used that at all. And you can just left click or right click to cycle through all these. And is there any that I haven't actually played around with yet? Fixed Halo I haven't looked at, but it's basically the same as Halo. So we'll just go with Vortex, because it's my favorite. And we're using the angry villager, and you can set the location for the directional ones, like the sphere. Everything other than trail and halo have to be on feet to look properly, to look the way they should. And another cool thing I haven't touched yet is the change mode. So you can have it when moving, so it only shows it when they're moving, when AFK, so when they're not moving, and when peaceful, I guess, when they're not in combat. So if they're moving or not moving, whatever, as long as they're just not in combat, I think. I'm not sure exactly how that works. And then just active, so it's always on no matter what's happening, which is how I have all of mine so far. But I think pretty soon I'm going to set up a thing for capes that when they're moving, so they don't have the weird cape animation following them, it'll just be a trail. So I think that'll look pretty cool. And then we can change the appearance, so we're just gonna mini games, whatever, and you can change the count here. So we're gonna make this a massive amount. It'll be a little spammy, but whatever. And you can change the price there as well, but I don't have it enabled. You can change the offset, so you can change well, the offset of the particle, and then you can change the speed. I wouldn't recommend touching this. It does create very large disgusting kind of effect. And before you save this and whatever, you can just equip it, and there we go. And that actually looks pretty awesome. And I think it looks awesome just because of how many particles it is, how much we set the count to. But that's just a quick and easy thing. And now if we go to, like, we just do /h, which is the main command for this, we go to page 7, there it is. There's our new particle, and we click it, and it turns that particle on. So it's a quick and easy way of just creating new particles, which is what I've been doing for the last like 4 hours. So it's relatively easy now to create these. So now is the time to get this plugin, to try it out, you know, enjoy it with your players and stuff. And another quick thing before I go, set. You can set the particles for a player. If you just want to run a command to turn a particle on, you can do that. So inamine, because I'm the only one on. Mob appearance, maybe. Wings, feet. That stuff doesn't actually matter for mob appearance. Spelled it wrong. Oh, I said mod. Mob appearance. There we go. And this is one of the worst things ever. And when you have this active, everyone on the server gets this. And my FPS has dropped to 4. So this is something you don't want to play around with, the mob appearance one. But it is kind of fun to just throw it at people, to just, you know, turn it on. But it does troll everyone on the server, I guess. So think about that before you do it, because it will show up on your own screen, and that's annoying. And you can't shut it off until that person's shut it off. But it might be a cool thing to give, you know, really high donators or something. They control everyone on the server. It's up to you guys, but just take note that the mob appearance one is awful, and it will do this for every player on the server, not just the one that has it active. Because I'm not sure actually how it works, because obviously that's not a particle. But anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry for this video being a hugely long video, but there's just so much in this plugin that can be done. But again, if you want to come onto my server, try out these particles for the next week or so, feel free to do so. And I'll also post this video on the ParticleHat page in the discussion. Obviously, I don't own that plugin, and hopefully they'll notice the video and show it or whatever. But anyways, thanks for watching, and if you want to see more, leave a comment. If you liked the video, click the like button. Do all those default YouTube things. You can also subscribe, but I don't put up videos on a good schedule. I'm awful with that. But anyways, peace out.